January the 4th. Let's get it. All right. So a couple of days ago, I seen a poll, like a voting poll on YouTube. It was, who would you build your team around? They listed three players, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Tyrese Haliburton, and Morant. And the voting went in that order. So people went more for Shai. Tyrese Haliburton came second. Morant came third. And I really wouldn't say either one of these players are so good. I couldn't say one's better than the other. Really what it comes down to is what kind of team you're building. I think the type of team I would build would require a Tyrese Haliburton. And it's because of who I'd surround around him. The thing about it, the thing I like the best about Tyrese Haliburton is he's going to score me some points and he's going to get assists. And he's not only going to get assists, but he's going to run the floor, run the offense like a point guard should. This guy's been getting like 14 assists, 15 assists. The other day he got 20 assists. That's like Stockton numbers right there. And I really like a point guard whose duty is to run the point guard. Like, he's not expected to do both. His main objective is to run the floor. And I think that's what Tyrese Haliburton does better than Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Morant. The thing is with Morant is he's so explosive. You know, it really depends on the team you're building around him right now. If you look at Memphis, they're a decent squad that's, I think, could be better. If you put Dillon Brooks back on Memphis, they'd be extremely dangerous. And you would see how effective Morant is in terms of his explosiveness and just his motor. It's priceless. It's really priceless. So I think he's just as good as Tyrese Haliburton. Same with Shai. Shai is a big point guard. I think the other day he grabbed like 15 boards. He had 30 points, 15 boards, 8 assists. Those are some really good numbers. He reminds me a lot of Penny Hardaway in terms of his abilities. I think Penny was more of a floor general than Shai is, but Shai is he's smooth. He's gonna score you a lot of points. And he's just difficult to contain. So I can understand why most people would go for Shai. I'm glad to see Shai doing this thing. I'm glad to see he's getting the love he's getting. He's from here in Toronto, so that's all good. But in terms of the team that I would be building, I would need like a Tyrese Haliburton. I need my point guard to be a point guard. That's how I like to build my team, and I'll give him everything he needs. I'll build everything around him. I'll give him the shooters. I'll give him the big men, the centers that could finish, catch those lobs. I'll make sure the team is built the way it needs to be built around Tyrese Haliburton. The way the Pacers are right now, I think they still got a ways to go in order to make a team that's really built for Tyrese Haliburton, that's another reason why I give the Pacers so much credit, is because I don't think they're finished yet. I think they still got a ways to go, and they're doing pretty good so far. So I'm definitely feeling the Pacers right now and what Tyrese Haliburton is doing. But like I said, Morant, Tyrese Haliburton, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, I think it's fair to say they're the top point guards in the league and moving into the future. So yeah, and I couldn't put one over the other. I think they're just as good. Like, they're equally as good as each other. So yeah, so moving on to what we got. The player matchup has a lot to do with what I was talking about with the point guards. The player matchup was Shai Gilgeous versus Trae Young. The numbers go: Shai had 33 points, 13 rebounds, 8 assists, 0 steals, 0 blocks, went 11 for 24 from the field goal, 2 for 3 from the three-point, 9 for 11 from the free throw, finished with a +2 in 35 minutes. Trae Young had 24 points, 4 rebounds, 11 assists, 2 steals, 0 blocks, went 6 for 13 from the field goal, 2 for 9 from 3-point, 10 for 11 from the free throw, finished with a -9 in 34 minutes. Now, like I said, Shai's my boy and all, but I'm going to go with Trae Young because, like I said, my preference is the floor general, and that's what Trae Young is, and I think that's why he was able to rally the Atlanta Hawks to beat the Oklahoma City Thunder last night. I think that has a lot to do with how Trae Young ran the floor and ran the offense last night. As for the other nights, I can't say what's going on with the Atlanta Hawks, but last night I like what I seen with Trae Young. And the -9 doesn't tell me anything because, like I said, he was really effective in terms of being the floor general, running the offense, and that's the only reason I gave it to Trae Young, is because that's my preference, right? Other people might prefer Shai, right? His performance. But at the end of the day, Trae Young did get the win. So the Atlanta Hawks did get the win. So I don't think it's a problem to give it to Trae Young, just for last night. So moving on to the pick. I had the Milwaukee Bucks last night, the Milwaukee Bucks minus 2.5. They lost to the Indiana Pacers 142-130 in Indiana. That's a tough one for me to go against one of my favorite teams. That's because I felt really high on the Milwaukee Bucks. I feel like they should be doing a lot better than they're doing. I think I know they've played over 10 games together. I can't say they played 20 games yet, but they should be better than they are. Watching the game, they look pretty sluggish. I didn't see a sense of urgency, especially from Damian Lillard. I thought maybe Damian Lillard would have more enthusiasm. I don't think he's happy in Milwaukee. I'm just going to keep it real. I like Damian Lillard, but I don't know. I'm not liking the body language, and it could be the coaching too. You know, it is the Toronto Raptors' old assistant coach. Maybe he bit off more than he could chew. You know, maybe he can't drive this Mercedes-Benz, because that's what when I look at the Milwaukee Bucks, that's like a foreign car. See what I'm saying? You just need the right person to drive it. So I don't know, but I'm not liking the body language, and I'll take the L, but I just really don't like what I'm seeing with Milwaukee, especially since Indiana did beat them in the in-season tournament. You'd think they'd want to get some get back or something like that, but wasn't seeing that last night. But shout out to the Pacers. They're doing well, and I can't take nothing from them, man. So moving on to tonight, I'm going to go with the Spurs, plus 9.5 in San Antonio, going against the Bucks. So we'll see. I'm going to watch the Bucks again. Usually I wouldn't go for one and then go against the next one, go against the same team in the next day. But I want to see the Bucks. I want to watch the Bucks and I want to watch the Spurs. So I want to see how the Bucks respond on a back-to-back, and I want to see what the Spurs can do. But we'll see. We'll see about that. Y'all have a good day. I'm going to leave it at that, and we'll catch y'all on the next one.